I second Cheryl that the solution to resolve this rape culture or to eradicate it or to curb the mindset, it can't be taken over the night, you know. But it has been in the society for centuries, for ages. Uh, Many people they think that social media is not playing a positive role in today's life, but I would say that social media is more effective now than the print media, that is the newspaper, the magazine, because you see that it spread the news quickly. It spread the news to every ear. Everyone is there on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. And the facts of that crime, that is rape, is being read, is being discussed by many of the people, and it did not happen before because very few people are in our society are accustomed of reading the newspaper or the magazine. But at that time also the cases of rape were discussed, and there were the crucial punishment according to our religion was also being given in the year of 80s when General Ziaulak was the ruler. That you know that there were many cases which were given uh, a punishment according to the Islamic law. But the problem is this, that once you start giving a firm decision or a firm verdict to such cases, that different people they popped up and they start saying that it's very inhuman. But on the other side, if you think at the victim, that what will be left in the life of the victim, which is definitely a female, isn't it? So, as Cheryl has said, that we should ask the men as well that what is their take about this rape culture, that how to uh, curb it, how to eradicate it from the society. In the evening, I was just going through the Twitter handle, and I have read some of the men comments on the murder of Noor Makhtoom, isn't it? And they were very, in a very sarcastic manner, they were saying uh, that the that she was in the relationship with the murderer for the past 2 years, and the servants of that guy have said when they were inquired about the case that it was a usual activity, that she came and there were shrieks, and then afterwards everything was happy, and then she went back. But some of the people they said that why the girls they are going to meet such boys. Okay, I admit that this is also wrong. But is there any standard set for the men's uh, credibility? Isn't it? Okay, I admit that women or the girls are not supposed to um, go on in a relationship like this with any man or any guy. But what is the credibility of a man? If you even if that girl Noor is being murdered, but some of the men, and I will emphasize on men, they are just writing on social media that she must had known him, that he was not a good person, why she was in the relationship with that man. Okay, that was her mistake, but now it's time to vociferate that why was she murdered, isn't it? That rape is never being done by the consent of a woman, isn't it? It always a compulsion that a woman is supposed to be subjected to the the immorality of the devilish desires of a man. So how could you blame a woman? Otherwise, the mindset is this, that when we are bringing up our sons especially, we should not make them think that they are, something a step higher than the girls, than the daughters, than the sisters, than the women around them in the society, isn't it? So I think that uh, that's the very strong role of mother, that she should have, uh, you know, inculcate this thinking process, okay, in her son or in her sons, that physically I'm stronger than any woman in the world, but that strength is supposed to give protection and respect, not supposed to impose that immorality that is subjected to rape, isn't it? So this is how that society can be changed morally, gradually, and eventually. I would say that there was a debate that should capital punishment be given, and what are the capital punishments? That there is very severe punishment that General Zia used to give to such people. But up till now, people, they curse him and they said that he was a dictator. He was not knowing the law. He was not knowing this. Basically he was stamped as a dictator. But I think the acts that he had started against rape, against abuse, child abuse, were not wrong. You know that once a culprit is being punished uh, according to the law and justice, then that will pave, a moral for the others. There will be apprehensions in the other people. You see that unfortunately, if you just turn the pages of the history, I'm sorry, most of the rape cases, prisoners, they are just roaming around without any punishment. You can see the rape of Zainab, the child abuse, the victim of child abuse, and then Shahrukh Jadoi, the girl who was being harassed, her brother was killed, her brother was murdered by that man, by that boy. He's a young guy, and the family left the country, but nobody had imprisoned him. And then you can see the example of Mukhtar Mai. I hope you know the case of Muhtara Mai, that she was living in a village and she was raped by her ex husbands, I think, or somewhat like that. She was raped, and then you know that the people, they investigated, and somehow the people who were the criminals, they were somehow released from that punishment. But I may appreciate Mukhtar Mai on this Facebook live streaming, that we need to have strong women like her. And what is the most credible note on her status, that after the rape and after that all notorious torture that she had suffered through, she had started her school in the same village, and she is educating the girls. That it's okay that it's being a crime, which is the heinous crime which is done by the men, but we need to aware our daughters, our sisters, and the girls around, to know that you know that rape is not love. Uh, that the person who cannot respect you or who can take you for granted, who is just rubbing his evil desires, that's not love. You are not supposed to be uh, overwhelmed with such acts. I would like to say to my younger uh, women, to my younger girls, to my daughters and sisters, try to understand that a man or a guy who loves you would never ask you to meet all alone, isn't it? And the other thing that I would like to highlight here, that the essence of wedding, the essence of marriage, is just vanishing swiftly from the society. Many girls, they are not knowing. Many girls, they are not knowing about the rights of a wife. Yesterday, I read somewhere, or yes, on Twitter, that a man had written that if we just see the average ratio of the women in our society who are being divorced, so 80% women who are divorced, they are educated women. And below that, many men, they have started writing this. Yes, you are right, this and that. So I had written only one note, and the note was that education teaches you the differentiation between the better half and the doormat, isn't it? The price of awareness is always entered into divorce. When a woman said no to her marital rape, when a woman is capable of standing for her rights, so you know that eventually ends into divorce, or just the domestic violence, or just the accusations of something which a girl hasn't done really in her life. So I think that we need to educate our boys, we need to educate our sons. If they are mature, they are physically stronger than any woman. The strength is supposed to be, it's not supposed to be imposed on a woman or a girl as a rape, but to protect her pride, her innocence. Thank you.